Top 10 clients for MCPE 1.19. Starting off with the Solar Client, you'll immediately notice that we get a brand new panorama over here with a Solar Client logo in the center of the screen, and we also have a new rearrangement of the buttons. When you load into this client, you will immediately notice that we get a built-in compass and a built-in clock along with a Solar Client logo towards the bottom corner of the screen. We also do have a new button that says mod menu over here, and it's actually going to give us a full-on mod menu over here. We can choose between a scoreboard, a boss bar, some crosshairs, all that good stuff. And here's how the settings do look like. As you can tell, we have a bunch of new settings over here, including a little quick settings, and over here we can quickly change our camera perspective. Next up, we have the Fire Client. You'll notice that we get a brand new panorama along with the Fire Client logo and the top of the screen over here. And this is actually kind of cool because we get like a Java themed menu as well. When you load into this client, you will immediately notice that we once again do get simpler fire as well, and we actually once again do have low fire. Of course, we also do have highlighted ores, and of course we have brand new settings over here that look absolutely amazing, and they're literally like Java edition. What's cooler is that we actually have a full-on hitbox right over here, and that is genuinely really cool. In the entire UI, we can consistently see the Fire Client logo over there, which is honestly really cool. Next up, we have the Faith Client. As you can tell, it has some of the smoothest, cleanest introduction animation that you were able to tell right over here. It's going to give us a bunch of information about the Faith Client. For this client, most of the textures are the same like the vanilla Minecraft, but where it really does shine is the brand new user interface it does have. For example, it looks so clean, and we can even take some screenshots right over here, which is definitely really cool. And in general, it has some of the smoothest animation that I've ever seen from a client. Next up, we have the Pumpkin Client. As you can tell, we get this brand new panorama, and of course, we do have the Pumpkin Client logo in the center right over here. When you load into this client, you'll notice that we get this really cool white highlight block whenever we do hover over a block, which is honestly really cool. And once again, we do have static fire as well, meaning it's not going to move around. And of course, we do have low fire as well, but also we get a RGB damage effect, so that is definitely very unique. But anyways, boys, you will actually notice that we have new cosmetics as well. For example, we have a pumpkin themed client cape right over there, and we also have like a little ring on top of our head, which is definitely pretty cool. Next up, we have the Star Client. You will immediately notice that we actually get a completely new rearrangement of the buttons. Our player character is put in the center right over here, and of course, we do have the Star Client logo in the top of the screen as well. When you load into this client, you'll immediately notice that we get simpler and smoother textures as well. You also notice that we actually get low fire as well, which is definitely super duper useful. And also, we do get invisible item frames, so you can go ahead and use it to decorate your world more better. But we get brand new settings over here. There's a lot to unpack. So over here, we have access to our world, and over here, we can actually quickly change our perspective as well. Not to mention that we also do get highlighted ores as well, so it's going to help you out in survival mode. Next up, we have the FryBry 200k client. You will immediately notice that we get a brand new panorama over here with the FryBry logo in the center of the screen over here. You will also notice that we get brand new custom cosmetics over here, which look absolutely amazing. For starters, we do get a FryBry themed bandana. We also do get a brand new shield as well, and Ender Dragon wings. And my favorite one of all definitely has to be the FryBry themed cape over here, which actually does have my logo on it. When you load into this client, you will immediately notice that we get much more simpler textures, and we actually do have static fire as well. We also do have new keystrokes over here that look absolutely amazing, and it actually does keep track of what buttons you press. And also, we do have a little compass towards the top of the screen over here, and we get a brand new UI over here, and we actually get little icons next to the potions to kind of like give a description of what it does. We also have new settings over here, and you guys can go over here to quickly change your camera perspective, things like that. More information about the client itself, its video settings, all that other good stuff. Next up, we have the Ayang Client. You will immediately notice that we get a brand new anime themed panorama over here, along with the client logo towards the top of the screen over here. When you load into this client, you will immediately notice that we get much more simpler textures for some of the blocks, and we also do have a built-in compass and a built-in clock right over here, along with a brand new RGB experience bar over here, which definitely does look amazing. Not to mention that we have highlighted ores over here, making this a much more simpler texture pack. But here's how the settings do look like. As you can tell, we have way more organized settings over here, and it's actually going to separate between the graphics and the video and stuff like that. And we also have new buttons over here in the creative menu, which is another really cool thing. Next up, we have the Demon Client. When you load into this client, you will immediately notice that we get a brand new rearrangement of the buttons over here, and we also do get the Demon Client logo towards the top of the screen right over here. When you load into this client, you'll immediately notice that we actually get a brand new menu right over here, and it's going to tell you what day your world is in, and it's actually going to tell you how fast you are going as well, which is definitely pretty cool. And we also do have a built-in compass, a built-in clock, and of course the new recovery compass from the 1.19 update. And right below that, it's actually going to give us a FPS counter, and estimate how much FPS we are getting. We also do have new blue fire over here as well, and it's actually made to be low fire as well, so that is definitely a really cool thing. And over here we do have highlighter ores as well, which is super cool. And whenever you select an item, it's actually going to tell you the durability of its item, which is super duper useful, especially in survival mode, and it's going to work for tools, armor, you name it. And whenever you try to spawn in a mob, it's actually going to tell you how much health the mob has, which is yet again another really useful feature that this client has. But the settings are absolutely amazing. Over here we can look at some client information. We also do have new FPS settings, so we can go ahead, go over here and adjust our settings to our liking. Next up we have the Saturn Client. When you load into this client, you'll notice that we get a brand new panorama over here, which looks absolutely amazing, and we do have the Saturn Client logo towards the top of the screen as well. When you load into this client, you will immediately notice that we get a built-in clock and a built-in compass as well. But right above that, we actually have this brand new armor HUD right over here, which looks super duper clean. And we also do have this new button towards the corner of the screen that says mod menu. And when you press on it, it is going to give you this entire new menu over here. And you can basically go ahead and toggle what you see on the screen over here. So you guys can really customize it to your liking. If you want to toggle things on and off, you can do so from the mod menu over here. We also do have more simpler textures over here, like the fire as well, including some lone fire as well. Here's how the settings do look like. As you can tell, the settings are made to be completely different and fit in with this client over here. Over here we have some quick settings so we can easily change our perspective, but this client actually does come with really cool cosmetics. As you can tell, we have a Saturn Client cape right over here, and we also do have this really cool hitbox as well, which definitely does look amazing. Next up we have the Optinu Client. You will immediately notice that we get this brand new panorama over here. We also do have the client logo towards the top of the screen as well. We also get new buttons that are towards the bottom of the screen, which is definitely really cool. And when you load into this client, you'll notice that there is a lot going on. So for starters, we have this new debug screen over here, which is definitely really cool. It looks super duper amazing. And actually right next to it, we have a little FPS counter. So it's going to tell us like, how fast our device is running. We do have low fire as well, so it's not going to blind us whenever we are PvPing. And towards the top of the screen, it's going to give us a built-in compass as well. And right next to that, it's going to give us a little speed check. So it's going to actually measure how fast we are going. And we have a bunch of buttons on the top right over here. We can actually use this to actually move around in our hotbar. We can use this as an F8 button. We could use this as a F1 button. See you later, French fries.